Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 15, the Torah says, "Speak to the children of Israel, saying to them that they make fringes on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of each corner a thread of blue, Tekhelet. And it shall be for you as a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of God and do them." A few weeks ago, Rabbi Samson explained to us the meaning of the commandment of tzitzit. This week, Mark Kaplan takes us to the Tekhelet factory in Kfar Adumim, where the blue dye is manufactured.
As a child, I liked to collect shells at the beach. But who would have thought that collecting shells had something to do with a mitzvah, of observing a Torah commandment? We visited the Tekhelet factory in Kfar Adumim.
The Torah commands the Israelites to place fringes on four-cornered garments and to place a blue thread among the fringes. The Talmud talks of the chilazon, a shellfish, from which the blue dye for tzitzit is extracted. But due to the exile and persecution over the years, the source of the chilazon became lost for almost 1,300 years. But 150 years ago, that changed. The source was not used, though, because the dye came out purple instead of blue.
It wasn't until the early 1980s when a professor by the name of Otto Elsner from the Schenker College of Fibers in Ramat Gan discovered the secret. By producing the dye under the sun, the UV rays convert the purple dye into unadulterated blue dye. Here we have a beaker with the dye already produced in it, and then I have some wool here which I'm taking out.
Which doesn't look all the way blue.
Right. As a matter of fact, it doesn't look blue at all from the bottom where the dye really is. It's a sort of a yellowish, but as we're standing here speaking, it's oxidating and it's becoming more and more blue.
I see up above here it says L'shem mitzvah tzitzit and L'shem mitzvah Tekhelet, which means for the sake of the mitzvah, the commandment of tzitzit and of Tekhelet.
Basically, every stage of making tzitzit has to be done explicitly for its purpose. You know, we could easily attach a machine here and have it start going, but everything has to be L'shem mitzvah tzitzit, and so there's an issue of being specific that the person is doing it. And so here you have a man-operated machine.
All right, so what have we got here?
Okay, this is the machine that produces the fine strands from the tufts of wool. These basically make the individual strings.
So you got the big thick stuff here, and
it travels down and gets pulled tight into a thin strand.
Looks like a fun toy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but I gotta say L'shem mitzvah tzitzit.
Right.
Okay, so this is L'shem mitzvah tzitzit. It's not hard to turn.
Right.
Obviously, this is kind of a new process.
Correct.
I mean, we didn't have something like this a few thousand years ago.
In ancient times, they used to pull the wool by hand. What I'm holding here is a giant block of baby snail eggs. And actually inside each one of these little sacs is about 30 to 100 eggs themselves. And all the snails come and they when the water warms up, they lay all these eggs, and then from here they hatch. Okay, so here you have the chilazon in its quote-unquote natural habitat. We have an aquarium here, and you see them. They basically like to live among the rocks and sand at the bottom of the sea, which also matches well with a traditional source which says they're wrapped up in the bottom of the sea, and that refers to the chilazon. Rabbi Meir says, Tekhelet domeh leyam, v'yam domeh l'rakia, v'rakia l'kisei hakavod. That Tekhelet is really similar to the sea, and the sea is similar to the sky, and the sky is similar to the color of God's holy throne. What it's telling us is that this is supposed to remind us that there's a creator of the universe, and he has plans for the world, and he has plans for us, and we're supposed to do what he asks of us.
Reporting from somewhere in the Mediterranean, this is Mark Kaplan for Israeli